All right, so let's take a look at the differences between the Makartt one versus the bigger name brand one, and they are the inventors of Gel X slash soft gel. First glance, you can see a really nice layout. You get plenty of tips, and I love that they have a huge size variety, just like the other brand. Now, it's not quite a fair comparison because the other brand is the natural line in painted tips, so it's a little different. But right off the bat, you can see that this is really thick, and personally, I love that. So it feels really, really solid, and it is not gonna go anywhere. So I am curious to see if the sizing is the same. So this is a size 0. Let's see if it compares to a size 0 in the other brand, because that would make it a lot easier if it is consistent sizing. So size-wise, they are pretty much identical. So I think it is a match, and you should be good to go with, if you use that other brand, you should be good in this one with the same sizes. Now you can see with this one, it is quite a bit thinner. Now, I know they did this on purpose so that it would blend into your cuticle area easier, but personally, I actually don't like that the cuticle area is thinner, because when I go to blend in the cuticle area with my e-file, it will sometimes drill some of the actual nail off. I find that with the thicker ones, it's actually easier to get a nice cuticle seal. All right, so there is the comparison and my first impressions. Now let's see how it actually performs with application and design. All right, so I've gone ahead and pre-etched the tips with my e-file. This is a must-do step. You cannot skip it or they will lift and your retention will be terrible. Unfortunately, I cannot apply these with the Makartt Pro line as it is meant to be used because I am allergic to HEMA and HPMA, so I am using Light Elegance instead. I just use Phytoprime to get my nails ready and primed, and now I'm using tack, which is a bonder. You can skip this step, but I rather not, just because I want good retention. Now we'll cure that and apply our first layer of Jimmy Gel, and this is a builder gel, but it can be used as a glue, and it is pretty much the only thing that doesn't flare me, so this is what I always use as my Gel X glue. So just do a thin coat of that and cure it. Now we're going to go ahead and apply it to the actual tip. I like to just apply some to the well and then do a little tap off of the brush to kind of add a little bit more to the end. And then you're going to softly just pull it over like that. Make sure there are no bubbles. Now, I really don't have a lot of advice for this. You kind of just have to play around with it with the amount yourself, and eventually you will get it. When I started off, I was doing like barely nothing at all, and I was getting a bunch of bubbles. Then I was doing way too much and it was flooding, which is obviously not something you want to do when you have an allergy. But eventually you get the hang of it and you'll get just the right amount. And once you do, it is such a satisfying process, especially one to watch. I love watching it play back. Now we're gonna just cut them off here because they are a little too long, and I'm kind of going more for like a tapered square, so we're gonna just file shape, and then we are going to go in with builder gel. Now, do you have to use builder gel on Gel X? No, because the whole point of Gel X is that they're pre-shaped, but in this case I kind of have to use a builder gel because they don't, Light Elegance doesn't make any sheer colors other than their Jimmy gels, so I have to do it this way. But a lot of people do this anyway just because it does add strength to the Gel X nail, and some people just prefer a thicker nail. As far as builder gel application goes, this is something that I am still not perfect at because I never used to do builder gel until now, but I like to just go in with a very light slip layer. This just makes it easier to move the product down the nail. Now, once you've got the slip layer, you can go in with a larger bead, and then you just kind of rock it back and forth all the way down the nail, and it'll self-level. At least if it's a good builder gel, it will, and this one absolutely will. But then you take a liner brush and just to get all those fine details, go around the sidewalls and get as close to the cuticle area as you possibly can to get that nice and flush. Then I flip my nail over to build a nice apex, and you flash cure to hold it all in place. Now I'm going in with the Melody Susie Fleur Wee line and getting it as close to my cuticle as I can, and then taking a liner brush and doing the same thing, going over the fine details, the sidewalls, and making sure that everything is nice and flush. I absolutely love this line of polishes. It doesn't flare my allergy, and they are super thick, one coat coverage, so perfect for art. Now I'm doing the same thing on my pinky. Also, these like smell like what they're supposed to represent. So this one smells like bubblegum and it's really cool. Anyway, again with the fine details and cure. Now I'm going to go in with a second coat, not that it needs it because it is one coat coverage, but I just want to thicken it so that it kind of matches the builder gel nails that I did. Alright, so now we're just going to go in with some alcohol to remove that inhibition layer so that we can file without all that stickiness in the way. Now, when you're filing, you really want to concentrate the majority of your filing towards the bottom of the nail and then a tad bit in the cuticle area just to make it kind of come up seamlessly, but you really want to leave that apex alone because that's what gives the nail structure and strength. You want to go over that cuticle area so that you can seamlessly blend it so that it looks like it's coming out of your finger. I absolutely love that look. Now we're just going to even everything out and again thin out the bottom, but you still want to leave that apex. You shouldn't spend too long doing this if your application was decent, which I feel like in this instant mine was pretty alright. So at this point, really all I'm doing is just debulking because I don't want the nails to be super thick, and I did have to do 2 coats of this to get the exact color that I wanted as a base. Oh, the struggles of being allergic. Now, when you're just evening out, you want to move your e-file side to side and not drag down because that will probably remove way too much product. And if you are going to drag down, you only want to do that at the tip when you're really trying to debulk. Now I'm just going to go in with my hand file with an 80 grit just to get those nice, sharp, crisp edges. And here's the finished result. Just throw some alcohol on it and it is ready for a design. So I'm going to do a lined French because I hate myself. And then I also want to do these little hearts, which aren't too difficult. You just take a dotting tool and place 2 dots, and then you connect them with a fine detail brush, and you have a heart. So I'm going to do this on my pinky and my middle finger in opposing colors. And here is the semi-finished look. Now we're going to top coat it and see how it's looking. Now, there is a lot of controversy with the top coat on whether you should cap the free edge or not, and whether you should file after top coating. And personally, I am a cap the free edge and don't file type of girly because I just don't want it to chip or lift at the free edge if it's not sealed with top coat. Usually I end up filing it halfway through the week anyway, just to crispen up those edges. But anyway, here is the finished result. And I thought that was a little too plain, so I went ahead and added some pizzazz. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful, and I highly, highly recommend those Makartt tips. They are awesome, and for the price, you cannot beat them. I wanted to chime in real quick because I have been wearing these now for almost 3 weeks, believe it or not. I went ahead and did a really quick fill. You can kind of see where I messed that up there. I just added some color to the cuticle area and just to get a little bit more wear out of them. But retention on point. I absolutely love these. All of the products that I use in this video will be linked below, and you can also find them in my Amazon storefront. Buying through my links helps me continue to put out content like this. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.